Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 11 of What If Naruto was sent to a parallel multiverse. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto had cheat codes over on Anime King 2 and enjoy that guys. And over Anime King, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was a badass with a godlike ability, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy guys. And remember, if this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy videos on both Anime King and Making 2 and Making 3, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, would you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as Naruto and his group were currently partaking in the Chunin exams, as Minato and Mikoto was currently in a secret room, where they were watching the body cam footage from X and his subordinates, as their job was to eliminate any future threat that might rise in Konoha, as he was given a list of all the information about the ninjas, the prominent Chunins of the other villages. Something that was really dark, but Minato was given the teaching of Danzo, and he would do anything to make sure that Konoha was number one. But that couldn't happen though when he felt an onslaught of power, as Minato told him to investigate what it was, only for him to be stopped by massive gusts ripping through the area, as it was none other than Naruto who was tearing apart the entire place, flaring his power and wiping off teams off the map, as he was having some fun. As Naruto released a colossal amount of water and flooded the entire place. It was so large that it started to rain when it hit and exploded. As Naruto made his way, as X and his whole crew was wiped out. They weren't killed, they were just wiped away by the massive stream of water that he could not stand on. It was too violent. As Naruto met up with Gaara and his sister and his brother. As Gaara felt it again, it turned out that Shikaku was more hospitable to Gaara here, seeing that he was telling him to run and get the hell out of here. As Naruto had them beg him not to kill Gaara, as he saw the pleading looks on Temari and Konkuru's faces, as he really enjoyed this feeling, he missed it a lot. As he allowed him to live as he made his way, he'll be more fun. As Naruto ended up replacing himself back with his clone. Arriving towards the tower, they were forced to place their hand in a slot, as their chakra was sucked out. It could not drain Naruto's chakra that fast, but he pretended to pass out as he was taken away along with the two girls. It was there that they were thrown in a scenario where they were supposed to believe that it was real, as a few ninjas had broken in the Chunin exams, and they had to give over the information that Jonin had given them after he had collapsed and died. As Hanabi had checked, but the man was dead for real, so perhaps this was real. As the ninjas came and surrounded them and told them to give him a skull immediately. As Naruto simply laughed at that, they placed Kona's at Hanabi and Sahara's throat, as the both of them were too weak to do anything, but Naruto found the whole thing just amusing. The ninjas decided to retaliate as they pressed Kona a bit deeper, until Naruto made their hands snap backwards. Using some unnatural force to yank them before, he released a colossal amount of energy. It shredded the entire underground scenery, as it decimated the place. The explosion was chaotic as the place was trembling. It was ripped apart. As Naruto and his crew emerged. As Anko saw them, she was shocked. She knew that Naruto was strong, but this was just beyond surprising, as he had decimated the entire area. As Naruto looked around, as he saw the others that make it, as the girls were told to go and rest, seeing that they were exhausted. which they did as their chakra recover after a while. But with that out of the way, it was no time for the finals, which would be happening in 2 weeks, as Naruto got into a heated argument with Minjutsu, older brother of Suigetsu, as Suigetsu was here as well, as Naruto remembered this guy as he was with Sasuke in his own timeline. But Naruto did not pay that any mind as he decided to make some fun, so he would have people after his head in the tournament. After that, Minato announced the 2 weeks tournament, where everyone will be participating, as he told them all to get themselves ready. With that out of the way, Naruto and the others were dismissed, as Kushina spent the entire night holding on to him and his sister, as Naruto found it annoying, but a part of him did not hate it that much, as Menma laughed at him and his sister that was unable to move, as Kushina didn't want them to escape. As Naruto thought about the whole event so far, well, at least the tuning exams was fun. So yeah guys, it was basically what I thought. You guys can switch across and please enter it for yourself. So what is the beginning of this new episode? We begin this episode in an unknown area. Footsteps could be heard as someone was making their way. The person, whoever it was, started to come out more in the light. They were tall, around 6 foot, 6'1". Long dark hair that went down into their back. It was a male. Black gloves, black long sleeve t-shirt, dark style envu pants, as they were wearing a style of combat boots that were curved at the end. The person calmly walked, making their way. As they were walking, someone emerged from the ground. It was a weird creature, half black, half white. As the thing spoke, "It is done," the creature said. The man nodded without missing a step as he kept on walking. "Move on to phase 2, he told the creature. As the creature was a plant-like entity. Its name was Zetsu. It had a giant Venus flytrap on his forehead that covered both of his faces, but at the moment it was currently open. "What do I tell Nagato?" said Zetsu. "Tell him what I told you earlier," the unknown man said as he kept on walking. "Know that the precautions are done. It is time we move on to the next step." "Have you located their locations?" "Yes, but I'm still unable to find the 9 tails. Konoha surely kept it away." "You don't have to worry about the 9 tails for now." "Why not?" Zetsu asks. "When the time comes, I'll go there personally to take it. I have a grudge to settle with that village, and I'll be taking the Hokage's life as well." As the man clenched his fists as he entered the room. Upon entering said room, he placed his hand on a podium as he channeled chakra into it. It took a few seconds as a woman came up on the screen. "How is things going on your end?" The woman frowned, as her body was a hologram. Only thing you could see was the dark eyes. "No hello? What kind of greeting is that?" she asked. "You knew I was going to be calling," the man said to her. "I know, but I still expect some kind of formal greeting or something like that. I mean, geez. How is things going on your end?" "What's that?" she said. The man's eyebrow twitched, as he was a bit pissed off at her sarcastic comments. "We don't have time for this." Yeah. You really need to learn how to relax, you know that, right?" "Relax? We're taking apart a delicate plan here, and you want me to relax? If you move too fast and you're a bit too jumpy, things will not work out in your favor. So relax. I have things in Konoha settled. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I've got several different key informations that will help you." "So I was right about Minato?" the man asked. "Yes. How much time do I have to say that?" "I will need the location of the Kyuubi." "What, now?" "No, not now. First we go after the others, and then we take the Kyuubi. And then revenge," she said. "Yes, and then revenge," the man said. I could be helping you where you are. It's not like I need to be here, you could just have Zetsu pretend to meet me once again. And I could be out there helping you. No. It's better for you to stay within Konoha. You're much better there helping me. Is there anything out of the normal happening that I should know? If anything come along to ruin our plan, I must know. Well, there is something. What's that? It's Minato's son. What? Yes, his name is Naruto Uzumaki. I've told you about him, haven't I? Yes, you have. What about him? Something is up with him. What do you mean? He's gaining unnatural power from somewhere. I don't follow unnatural power from somewhere. The man said confused. That's the thing that none of us can figure out. He's just accumulating power out of nowhere. The man still looked confused. Look, that's all I know at the moment. Not even Minato know what is going on. But his power, from what Minato has told me, is like a tail beast chakra. And I'm not entirely sure what is going on there. But I think he's gonna be a threat in the future. Is he that much powerful already? Yes, that's the thing. He's getting stronger and stronger as they pile on. Minato is astonished with his growth. But when it comes to our plan, we can't have anyone in the way. But I can't just get rid of him that easily. Is he that much of a threat? Yes, he is. But don't you worry. I think I have another way. I think I can get him to join us. You can? And how are you gonna do that? Just leave that to me. I'm currently working the angle, and I'm getting closer to my goal. So, just leave that all to me. As for you, what did Nagato say? He's with us. Does he still believe that we're striving for world peace here? Exactly, the man said. As the woman simply chuckled. That incompetent fool. Once this is over, please let me kill him. I want to look him dead in the eyes, for him to realize how stupid he has been the entire time. Don't worry. You'll have your chance to have fun. Just make sure you rein it in within Konoha. I know how troublesome you get at times, doing things just to cause chaos. What? Me? As the man gave her a blank look. Fine, fine. Stop acting like I'm a child. I've been doing this for a long time now. And I will continue doing it. And no one will suspect a thing. I have to go. The Chunin exam finals are coming up. And I'll be watching. They're bound to be amusing. And I can find out more about how powerful Naruto has gotten. Keep me posted on this, Naruto, the man said. Will do, brother, the girl said. See you later. As she was gone, the man stood there and smiled as Zetsu finally spoke. Well, it seems like she's fitting in well in Konoha. As the man chuckled darkly. What's so funny? It will be rather amusing to see their faces, especially Minato and several others, when they find out that you were being played the entire time. It seems like you take great joy in watching them suffer, said Zetsu. I find it amusing, that is all, the man said. Now let us go. Where to? To Konoha. What? I want to see this Naruto Uzumaki in action. If my sister has found such an interest in him, there must be something about him. And with that they move. Aren't you gonna tell her that you're coming? No. I think I'll surprise her, the man said. Time skip, at the village hidden in a leaf. As Naruto was calmly sitting down on top of a hill. As it was early in the morning, today was the finals of Chunin exams. It won't start until 10. As Naruto was behind the Hokage's monument on one of the tall hills, looking down towards the bushy area. There was no one up here, no one at all. As Naruto sensed someone coming towards him, only for Urukai to emerge. As she came over, as she looked down toward the scenery, down below her, it was a really long drop. So, are you ready for today? She asked. Of course I am, said Naruto. Did you get what I want? Of course I did, Urukai said. It seems like your timeline and ours is more different in ways of housing. The location that you told me was Not there. Instead, I found it somewhere else though. It's quite tricky to find. There are seals set up just in case. But when I went there, I saw the shimmers. I was able to see the seals of the Genjutsu. But I could not get any closer because I doubt I could get close without being detected if I'm not a Uzumaki. But you, my friend, you have the blood running through your veins. So, you can go down there and retrieve the 9 tails. As Naruto got up to his feet, he was wearing black pants, a grey jacket with a white shirt underneath, black gloves on his hand, as he placed his hand in his pockets as he looked down. I doubt that I can go there either without setting off alarms. This is not something trivial, this is the most powerful Biju in existence. Well, unless you combine them, said Naruto. So I doubt that Minato would want anyone going there even if it was Uzumaki's. After all, I can see that he's a bit paranoid. That he is, said Urkai. So what will you do then? I need a distraction. In my time, you, leading the Sound, attack Konoha. Is there any chance of any village attacking Konoha in the Chunin exams? Well, several villages hate Konoha, but I haven't heard anything from my spies or anyone. But perhaps there will be a secret attack. Who knows? But Konoha will definitely come out on top same way. It's just too powerful. But despite that, that could give you enough distraction to get the Kyuubi. Yes, it can, said Naruto. If there isn't one, I'll just cause one. By doing what? As Naruto chuckled, what I do best. Mayhem. Destruction. Oh, I'll be there. Send a little signal so that I can know when you're gonna cause this mayhem. There's a few things I would like to gather without anyone noticing. Will do, said Naruto. As always, nice doing business with you. As Naruto jumped off the top of the cliff. As Urkai stood there, she frowned when he was gone. That boy was something else. He had willingly gave her his chakra and his blood to try to find a way to kill him. He was amusing her. She tried everything. But there was nothing that could actually kill him. It made no sense. As his chakra levels had far surpassed tailed beasts by now. But his blood was able to reconvert itself over and over. Even if you destroyed it. Somehow, some way, a cell find itself behind and start to regroup and gather until it refurnished itself back together. His body was so powerful that it was able to build itself seemingly out of thin air. He could not be vaporized. He could regrow arms, limbs. She was curious if he could regrow his heart though. After all the things that he told her, all the beings that he had absorbed, that legendary alien warrior called Otsutsuki, and the 10-tailed beasts. Yes, he's been quite forthcoming with his information. As he doesn't really care about much things after all, he willingly gave her his blood to test if she could kill him. But she could not. Well, not yet. But she doubted she would find a way. But that was no thing that she did. She mixed his blood with a few of her experiments, and they were coming along nicely. And soon enough she would see if they react in the way that she wanted to. If they did, she could have her own personal army. When she go back to him for more blood and chakra. Her own personal, destructive, powerful army. As that made her smile. Meanwhile, the person known as X was currently standing in an underground barricade. He reached up and removed the mask over his face to show a normal looking face. For a fact, it kind of looked dark. Not the color, but his whole presence looked like a Uchiha strangely. His eyes were black. He had a small pointy nose. Small lips as well. His face seemed emotionless. His hair on the other hand was blonde. Blonde whipsy hair that went out in strands, as he combed his hand through his hair, combing it back, as he looked at himself in the mirror, as there was a bandage over his arm. As he slowly unpeeled the bandage, as there was a slice on his arm, he frowned at being so careless. As he placed the bandage back over it, at least it was healing nicely. It was another reminder to not be careless and overconfident, because those things could get you killed. But the job must be done no matter what, even if it costs you your own life. He would make them proud. As he turned and moved back to a photo on the wall. Photographs to be exact. There were 3 of them. One was Naruto, who was smiling. The other one was Minma, and the other one was Mito. As his face cracked a bit, as his lips curved into an unnatural smile, it seemed like he didn't even know what he was doing. As he nodded at the photos. Back towards the open area, the village was getting swamped by people. Daimyos, dignitaries. There was many people rolling in for the exams. The Uchihas had their sections where they sat down. Given that most of them weren't really fighters anymore, but they still had a few that could do their thing. After all, Obito was still there. Itachi was still there. Shisui had committed suicide. As crazy as that sounds, he did it some time ago, as there was never a body found. Some other Uchihas were still there that would still fight, but they were not really a threat. Mikoto sat with her family, as her little daughter was going to be taking part of this exam as well. The Akimichis had their stand. The Naras had their stand. Everyone was there. The elders were there as well, as the clan heads, all of them, were there to witness the great battles of Chunin exams. Up in Mikage's booth, Minato sat down. Behind him was his wife, Kushina Uzumaki. There was also Jiraiya of the Sun in there as well, as he was speaking to Kushina at the moment, until someone arrived. The person was short. He had greyish hair. He had pink eyes. He was wearing a green scarf around his neck, as he was wearing a mesh clothing underneath, with an armor going down to his stomach, as his headband was on his stomach. Green sweats going down with black pants underneath. Behind him was a rather beautiful woman. She had a dark, reddish hair with green eyes. The beautiful Meiterumi, as she stood behind her Mizukage. Yes, the 4th Mizukage, Yagura. And to Mei's right was a man. He had long black hair, as he was wearing a black vest, as this was none other than Riga, the holder of the lightning Kiba blades. "Ah, Mizukage-dano, I'm pleased that you were able to make it," said Minato as he greeted the man, as the both of them shook hands. "I wouldn't want to miss this spectacle," said the Mizukage, as he sat down to Minato's left. It didn't take too long. Afterwards, the Kazekage arrived. As the boatman greeted him, it was none other than Raza, the Kazekage, as he sat down to the other side of Minato. The other Kages wouldn't arrive after all. If that was the case, all 5 Kages would be here. But that was the reason why they wouldn't arrive. Konoha and the Stone and Komo never really got along, so they would not come here even though their ninjas were here. If anything happened to their people out in the open, it would be a sign of war. And Konoha has been playing a peaceful route ever since, so they would not try anything, so they were confident enough to send their shinobis, but the Kages wouldn't arrive. As down below, the arena started to open up over to the side, and through the gates, several individuals stepped out. All the possible Chunins. The crowd started to cheer as they saw everyone down there. As Kushina was smiling, a big happy smile. "Minato has been telling me the things that your 2 kids are up to. I'm impressed. I must say I'm looking forward to see what they're capable of right here," said Jiraiya. "Excuse me," said Yagura as he turned towards Kushina. As Kushina looked towards him, the man knew her, as she was once the red-hot habanero. Your son, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, correct? Yes, you know of him, she said. Well, given the fact that he was able to take out one of my missing ninjas, Zabuza of the Mist, along with his sensei, I know of him well. I must say I'm intrigued. How one so young can be so powerful. Well, that's my Naruto for you, said Kushina. He's gonna kick everyone's ass down there. Well, if he was able to single-handedly take out Zabuza by himself, there would be no doubt. If that was the case, we would have just have to claim him the winner already. But that was not it, was it? Well, he had help, but he's still awesome. You just have to watch and see, my boy, said Kushina as Minato chuckled at that, and the happy attitude his wife was showing towards their kids. And don't count out Mito either. You just watch as they do their thing. Well, don't count out my ninjas either. Trust me, they've been training for this for a long time, and they won't be defeated that easily. All of your ninjas pale in comparison when it comes to Gaara. He was breded for this thing, and he would not fall. Breded, said Kushina. You wouldn't understand, said Raza, as he looked towards the woman. And what wouldn't I understand, she asks. Minato seeing things about to escalate as his wife's temper could get the better of her sometime. Oh come on, we're here to watch the proceedings, not to argue, as he gave Kushina a smile that calmed her down it seems. Jiren on the other hand focused on the two Kagis, as he just watched them without saying a word, before turning his eyes back towards the arena. Down below, as Naruto was looking around at all the people, the arena was much larger, he could tell that, than in his time, and not to mention there was so much more people. As he saw Minjutsu glaring at him, as Naruto decided to act childish and stick his tongue out at Minjutsu, as Minjutsu's eye twitched, as Naruto started to laugh, before Mito punched him in the shoulder. Hey, what was that for? Said Naruto. Stop acting like a goof. We're about to take part in a dangerous exam by fighting one another. So get yourself ready. That guy really does seem like he wants to kill you, because of you antagonizing him. As Naruto reached and patted her on the head, she slapped away his hand, as he was treating her like a baby once again. Despite him not being older than her, don't worry sis, I got this. She's right, you know, said Sahara. Don't do anything stupid. Meanwhile, in the stands, a man sat there calmly. But it was just an illusion. He was the said man that was talking to the traitor within Konoha, as he was here to watch this Naruto Uzumaki. His illusion paid off as a random civilian as he watched. As he glanced towards the Uzumakis over there, all of them sitting rather calmly watching the proceedings. As he glanced towards Uchiha's, his eyes fall on them for a few seconds more than necessary, before he looked towards the other clans. With that, he turned his sights back towards the arena, after the proctor done explained the rules. As he would be the one in charge here, the moment he said stop, they were supposed to stop. So with that out of the way, the names were finally called for the first round, as no one even knew who they were fighting. Suigetsu of the Mist versus Amoy of the Cloud. Suigetsu cracked his neck with a smirk on his face. Now that's what I'm talking about, he said. Calling best first as usual. His shoulder was grabbed. Don't screw up, said Minjutsu. Oh, you can count on me, brother. I got this. And with that, everyone else made their way up. As Amoy frowned, before he yawned, he had this lazy, bored look on his face. You know, there's a good chance of you dying, said Suigetsu. You might want to give up. Sorry, I can't, Amoy said. If I do that, she might end up killing me herself, as he glanced up towards where his teammate was, a red-haired fiery ninja. As Suigetsu chuckled, alright then, your mistake. Are the both of you ready, the proctor asked, as he nodded. Begin! As the match started up. It started calm at first, until both players pulled their blades. Both boys were efficient in the sword style of fighting, as they started to clash against each other violently. As everyone was watching quite expectantly, this match was going good so far. as the clash started to become furious until Amoy got a slice across his chest. Not deep enough to cause him any immense pain, but he still wins a bit. But Amoy then twists as he sliced right through Shigetsu. Shigetsu's blade was curved at the end, and it seemed like the blade could screw off the handle for some reason. But that was not the case, as Shigetsu pumped chakra into it. The blade turned into water as it lashed out and struck Amoy through the shoulder. It then reformed into solid steel as he appeared behind Amoy. He used the tip of the blade and drive it through his shoulder as Amoy winks in pain. Shigetsu was just a much better swordsman than him. He then proceeded to assault him with his blade until Amoy dropped, bleeding quite profusely, as he had to give up or otherwise he would die. As the crowd clapped, as that was quite the match for the first match, as Yagura had this pleased look on his face, as Mei Terumi stood behind him watching the whole scene. Things were going good so far for Kieri, it seems. Quite the powerful shinobi you have there, said Minato as he looked towards the boy, who pumped his fist in the air at his victory, as Amoy was taken away by the medics. The next match was Sahara versus Karu of Kumo. As Karu made her way down there, let me show you how a real Kumo ninja do their thing. As Sahara raised the eyebrow. This match won't last long, she told her. As Karu chuckled at that, you're right, it won't last long. For you. Are the both of you ready? As the proctor gave them go ahead, the moment Karu heard that she shot forward, she unsheathed her blade. As Mikoto watched, as the blade went down towards her daughter, who activated her Sharingan. She looked directly towards the blade as her eyes reflected on the steel as Karu was looking at her blade as she paused. As her blade started to melt in her hand, as the lava was coming down in her fingers, she dropped it. The next thing she knew, a kunai was pressing up against her throat. What the hell? Give up or die. Everyone was stunned. As Karu was forced to give up, applause exploded outwards, people being amazed by that spectacle that they just witnessed. As Mikoto smiled to herself, no, that's my girl. As Itachi was sitting here as well. She's gotten a lot stronger, he said, as he watches with his sister. Over to the Uzumaki side, as Menma was watching Sahara. She's gotten more powerful. As he glanced up where the box was, as he saw Naruto looking down there with a smile. Up in the box, as Naruto was smiling. Well, that was fast, said Hanabi. Appreciation is given when appreciation is due. You can't tell me that that wasn't awesome, said Naruto. It was fast. That's all I have to say, said Hanabi. Come on, said Naruto as he placed a hand on her shoulder. You guys are friends now, right? Wait, what? A voice said beside her, as Naruto glanced over to see Hinata. You guys are friends? We're mere acquaintances, said Hanabi. We are on the same team. We have to work together. You shouldn't be friends with these scums. They will just hold us down. As Naruto stepped forward. What are you doing? She said. She stepped close to her. As Naruto had to fight himself not to slap her across the face, as he had this sudden urge to slap her down. It was kind of pissing him off. Why was it though? Was it because of her disrespecting, well, them or Sahara? Or was it because of the shy, sweet Hinata that he missed so much? This bitch had taken over. But he decided to let it go, as he glanced towards the back where his sister was, pretending not to talk to Neji, who was at the back as well. As Naruto shook his head. It seems that the both of them were a thing, as you remember Sahara told him that his sister had her first kiss before. They were a part of the Hyuga clan for a long time. They were good friends with them, so perhaps something happened there. But it wasn't his place to ask or say anything about that. After all, she doesn't even know that he was with Hanabi. It seems like a life for the Hyuga's run in the Uzumaki family. Well, except for his brother, Menma, who went after Anko instead. With that over, the rest of the names were called as several other individuals went down there. As of Samui from the cloud, as she faced off against Neji. The battle was a brutal one, as the girl was powerful with her blade, but Neji was able to defeat her as it seemed like he was a lot stronger in this timeline. As Naruto gave him props for that, but Hinata said that he could have done better and not got all those cuts, as he had to be brought to the infirmary as well to get his wounds patched up rather quickly so he could return, as he didn't want to miss his second round. As Hinata's bitchiness was a lot, but in some ways he kind of liked it. As Naruto stepped towards her, she leaned up against the railing. "What do you want?" she asks. As the others are over to the side. "You know, has anyone told you that you're a real bitch?" she asks. Her eyes narrowed before she could say anything. He spoke once more. "But you know what? I kind of liked it." "So what?" she said. "Why should I care what you like?" "Yeah, keep acting like that," said Naruto. "I can see that this is a big improvement. What was I thinking? What are you talking about?" "Oh, don't mind me," said Naruto. "Hey, do you still do this thing where you poke your fingers together and stutter?" "What?" As Naruto chuckled a bit. Hinata was called to face off against Sakura. As laughter could be heard, as Sakura stepped forward, her blonde hair whistling in the wind. As she turned towards Hinata, with a grin on her face. "You think you're gonna be the one to win this? But you're sadly mistaken," said Hinata, as both girls went down there. "So what do you think?" said Naruto. "Sakura's gonna kick her ass," said Mito. As Naruto nodded, as he decided to tease her a bit. "Can't help but seeing how worried you were about Neji when he got injured." What are you talking about?" she said. "I'm just saying what I saw." "Well, you saw wrong. I don't know what you're talking about." As she looked away. As Naruto chuckled, before he turned towards her. "You know you don't have to lie to me, right? I mean, it's not like I'll tell anyone." "Tell anyone what? What are you talking about?" As Naruto laughed some more. She really didn't want anyone to know. Well, because of their family not getting together, it would look away. So that is why she was keeping the secret so much. Same for him and Hanabi, it seems. The match down there didn't last for too long. Yes, Hinata was good with the Byakugan style fighting, but she's been on the team with Sakura for a while now. And Sakura seemed to know how she fight. And Sakura's raw brute strength was just too much, and not to mention, she also has some of Jiraiya's techniques. She could turn her hair into needle points. As she had a stomp of the underworld as well. As she was able to use those to destroy Hinata and take her out. As the girl was knocked over the count as she was taken to the infirmary, a loud yell of "That's my girl" could be heard, as it was none other than Tsunade. The next match was Naruto versus Minjutsu. As Naruto chuckled at that. As Minjutsu had a wicked grin on his face. "Well, what did I tell you? Seems we do end up getting the fight after all. I hope you had a wonderful 2 weeks with your family, seeing that you're never gonna see you again, and you're not gonna see them again." "Oh, was that a threat?" said Naruto. "I'm not gonna see my family again because you're gonna kill me." "Damn right it is," said Minjutsu. "Kick his ass all over the place," said Tagetsu. As Naruto sighed, "It's a shame. You could have lived." "What?" "Oh, nothing," said Naruto as he started to walk down there, before Sahara grabbed his hand. "Be careful." As Hanabi narrowed her eyes. But she didn't say anything. As Uzumaki started to clap when Naruto started to make his way down there. As he slowly made his way, taking in all the praise with a smile on his face. As he looked around the entire arena. As he paused when his eyes landed on a random civilian. He didn't know why, but this man caught his interest. His chakra felt strange, like he was trying to suppress it, at the same time focus it away from his own body. What was this? Was he trying to play some kind of illusion or something? Without his eyes activated, he couldn't see it, but he could feel it. The man raised an eyebrow and he saw Naruto looking at him. As he wondered, could Naruto feel something? As this was the man under the illusion, it seemed that this kid was more than he thought. If he could tell that something was wrong. But it was not just a transformation. His chakra reserves would get many people worrying, as well as the Anvil, so he had to suppress his power in different ways. But the man was surprised that Naruto could actually figure that out, or perhaps it was just a coincidence. As Naruto shrugged and continued to walk. "It seems that my son is going to be facing off against one of your ninjas," said Kushina. That it seems, said Yager, as he smiled. Well then, this should be quite the spectacle. As Minato looked down toward his boy. Let's see how strong you've gotten. As Menma watched Naruto, knowing that Naruto would win this match. As Naruto had gotten so ridiculously powerful it was crazy. But it was if he could use that power stably and not let this guy overcome him with smarts instead of just power. As Menma sat there, as he was the head of the Uzumakis, he had taken over fully but he still needed help on certain areas and certain things. Yoshino was still there even though she had one foot in the grave. The woman was old, as she would not make it for another year or two. But still, she was still helping out. The only thing that she wanted was greatness for the Uzumaki clan. But at least she could die at old age and not be killed in a war or something like that. As that was the best way of going, surrounded by families. Are the both of you ready? The proctor asked. As Naruto nodded, start the match so I can cut into pieces, said Minjutsu. The proctor don't begin as Minjutsu pulled out the scroll from his back as he slammed his hand down into the summon. He pulled out a blade that was curved at the center with two handles, only for him to detach it to show that it was two separate blades. As he started to push chakra into it until they started to glow a light blue. As he placed the scroll over to the side, as he turned his sights back on Naruto, as he cracked his neck. I hope you're ready. As he shot forward, actually denting the ground underneath him with his speed. As Naruto watched him, Minjutsu flashed in front of him before he vanished, and appeared behind Naruto as he slashed. As the two blades slashed Naruto across his back, forcing him to step forward. As Kushner, eyes widened at that. As many people gasped that he was able to caught Naruto off guard that easily. He then delivered a black hand to Naruto's face, as he tossed his other blade in the air. As Naruto was sent sailing as he jumped and kicked his own blade, it whipped through the air and tear past Naruto's hand, slicing his shoulder badly. As his left hand dropped to his side, Kushina covered her mouth. Why was her son not doing anything, as he was getting wounded? Come on, what are you doing? She said to herself. As Jiraiya watched the boy confused as he looked towards Minato, who didn't seem to know what was going on either. It was then that Minjutsu moved, as he did a combo with his blades. He did not slice deep, but he was able to draw blood with each strike. Until Naruto was bleeding. He then slammed his skull into Naruto's, throwing Naruto back. As Naruto crashed on the ground, lying there. What the hell is going on? Said Mito. Why is he not fighting back? As the others in the booth was confused as well. As Hanbi was clenching the railing so tight. As it started to creak a bit as she started to apply force to her chakra. Why? Was he not doing anything? Sahara felt the urge to go down there and help him, but she could not. As everyone was confused. Told you so. He was just big talk. I know my brother. It's too fast for him to even see. As Naruto got back up to his feet, he did something that surprised everyone. He started to laugh. As that confused everyone given that he was getting the crap beaten out of him. He started to laugh psychotically. Many people got chills running down their spines as he laughed, in a way that sounded like he was gonna burn the entire village. It just sounded dark and wicked. He then finally stopped laughing. It seems you lost your mind from getting the ass whooping, said Minjutsu. No, it's not that, said Naruto. It's just... you're pathetic. What? I mean... As Naruto looked at his body, before he grabbed his shirt and tore it off, to show that there was not even a mark on his skin. Wait, I sliced you. Is that so? Said Naruto. Then where are the marks? As he showed off his well-toned skin, with not even a scar on it. Only the black linings going around his body, as they were on it now, as they weren't vanishing. As most of his power was yet to return, but he had his black markings around him. As Naruto looked up to the heavens, as he smiled to himself. I must say I was looking for a fight, not a tap by a little baby. And you call yourself a dangerous individual, someone that's gonna defeat me, someone that's gonna make me rue the words that I speak, but yet you're just a pathetic piece of dog crap. As Minjutsu bared his teeth. As Kushina was surprised at the way Naruto was acting, she knew that he had changed a bit, but this was different. He didn't act this way around her. It's been a long time since I had a good fight, but this is just a disappointment. So I think I'll hurt you for it. Hurt me? Yes, hurt you, said Naruto. The entire arena shook as an onslaught of power exploded from Naruto. The walls crack. The ground trembled. Even the stands started to shake as the civilians were shocked. The men that stood up in the stands were at a complete gaping shock when he saw the power that emerged on Naruto. Mikoto's eyes widened. As everyone was surprised by this, Mainma got to his feet. As he had felt Naruto release some of his power before, but this is not normal. As another onslaught of power slammed into the Kage's boots, the window shattered upon contact. As glass flew everywhere, as the walls started to be ripped apart, until Naruto calmed it down. Minjutsu was leaking. Yes, he was leaking his body. That was, it turned to water was actually leaking. As he stepped back, his legs buckled a bit as they shake. He was confused. How was this even possible? As Naruto stood there, it's been a long time since he tapped into this power. He must have enough by now to show that he was above these pathetic human scum. He was not human. After all, he was a god. Come to me, said Naruto as he waved his hand. Minjutsu was picked off the ground. As Urkai watched as he was sent sailing towards Naruto. He used his blade and twirled it to slice Naruto's arm. But when it came in contact with Naruto's skin, it shattered. It wasn't that Naruto's skin was tough, but something shattered his blade. As Naruto grabbed his other blade and it shattered into pieces. Before Naruto raised his leg and slammed it into his chest, blood exploded out of his mouth and his nose. To his surprise, he could not liquefy himself just in time, as he collapsed on the ground in a roll, only for Naruto to appear in front of him. As Naruto shoved his hand right through him, because his body turned to water, well, his chest to be exact. "No, I got you," said Minjutsu, as he placed his hands over Naruto's head, and his old hands turned to water and captured Naruto's head, as he started to stifle Naruto. As everyone realized that Naruto was caught, but yet he was not squirming or he was not moving. As Naruto laughed as bubbles came out of his mouth, before he raised his hand, the entire body of Minjutsu was blown to pieces. Luckily, he was made from water, he was able to separate. As Naruto waters the water tried to gather, as it was hard for him to do so when his body was blown to pieces this way, as this was not supposed to happen. Once he reformed himself, he was actually sweating. As he looked towards Naruto terrified, as Naruto raised his hand as a shard of the blade that he had broken came towards him as he moved 2 fingers forward. The blade shot forward as Minjutsu moved, as they tore through the wall. He got back up as he flashed 2 hand sign, water style. Water bullet as he fired dozens. As Naruto used his bare hand and slapped them away, like he was dealing with stones, pebbles. Before he looked at his hand examining it, "Not even a mark," he said. As he raised his hand to the heaven, electricity started to gather on his hand, before he pointed 2 fingers towards Minjutsu. Zap! Minjutsu cried out in pain as a hole was blown in his shoulder. Zap! Another one torn in his leg, as Naruto Lightning was able to cancel out the water effect, as it was causing him real pain as his body was bleeding. As Naruto appeared in front of him and grabbed his face, before breaking his head in the wall. The wall actually gave out first, other than his skull. As Minjutsu felt dizzy, as he was seeing doubles. He spat out blood, as he dropped to his knees as Naruto walked behind him, as he placed sand on his back. Almighty push. Minjutsu was sent sailing, as he slammed into the wall face first, and slipped down blood, running from his forehead. As his whole body was dizzy as he could not even liquefy his body anymore. He was too out of it. As Naruto raised his hand to the heavens, the place started to get cold, immensely so. like freezing cold until everyone started to breathe as they could see their own breath. As Naruto touched the ground, as the ground started to be frozen over as ice was rushing towards Minjutsu. Minjutsu saw the ice coming, as he knew if that touched him, as he remembered what Naruto said that he would do with him. I forfeit, he said, struggling to talk. The proctor jumped down. Cancel the jutsu, Uzumaki, he said. It's over. As Naruto glanced up towards the proctor, I said cancel the jutsu, it's over. As Naruto frowned, before he removed his fingers from the ground. As the place became warm once again, no longer chilling, the audience was stunned. Shock. That was their main reaction until a person started to clap and then cheers erupted. Despite the brutality that he just showed, everyone could witness his power and that was just amazing. The man that stood up in the stands that had yet to reveal his identity smirked. It seems that you were right, sister. This boy is truly something. It would be good to have him at our side. This boy was definitely something that they need to keep a close eye on. And if his sister had a way to keep this boy at their side, well, that was good. As his sister was right here, as he glanced over to her, as she was focused on the fight, it seems not even her knew that Naruto was this powerful already. But you wonder what made this boy so powerful. Guess he will have to find out though. Meanwhile that was going on. Do you have my payment? A voice said. Yes. A ninja that was not wearing any headband handed over a scroll to a man standing there. He was wearing a black cloak, nothing more else could be seen. He had blonde hair, as he had a scope over his eye. As a scroll was given to the man with the blonde hair. It's all there, I can assure you. Oh, it must be, because if it's not, I would be paying your village a visit next. As the man chuckled to himself. So you want me just to cause a lot of mayhem and destruction and kill as many as I can? Yes, that is the deal. We're paying quite a large sum for this. You must do as much as possible to cause chaos and destruction all around the leaf, mainly where the Chunin exams is taking place. Oh, don't worry, I got this. As the man chuckled to himself. I guess Konoha will have to experience some of my art. But it wouldn't be bad after all. They're gonna see the most beautifulest thing ever before they die. As Deidara, the mad bomber, created a bird and jumped on it as he flew to the village. But guys, be instant right here. If you want the next part, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that notification so you posted. But I'm off now. See you guys soon. Peace.